A couple days ago, I heard Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut speak at a Progressive Poor's event down here in Charleston, South Carolina, and something he said really stuck out to me. He was talking about the Trump administration and all the bad that they're doing and how they're ignoring all of our legal processes, as any good Senate Democrat does. That's all well and good. It is true after all. But then he started to say how the big law firms and corporations are all rolling over to the administration, and that normally these law firms and corporations are the institutions that we Americans rely on to push back and prevent and resist this sort of governmental chaos and corruption, which is on its own kind of a tacit admission by a high level political figure that all conventional power in our society belongs not to the people or even to our government, but to an unaccountable class of corporate overlords and legal juggernauts. But I digress a little bit. The insinuation that these entities are on our side or are some kind of positive balancing force against the forces of greed and corruption that infest our government at best, if you're giving maximum benefit of the doubt, is a bright, flashy display of how disconnected Washington politicians, including Democratic politicians, are from not just working class life, but reality itself. Big law firms and corporations never have and never will be allied with us. They have a completely opposed class interest to us, and they comprise the very capital apparatus that captures our public institutions and officials and uses them to increase profit. The reason that these entities are rolling over and offering no resistance isn't that they oppose what's happening or that they're too weak-willed to fight back. It's that they smell blood in the water. They don't mind at all, because they don't care what the political system they are under looks like, as long as they can make their profits. And, as long as they know that they have the same or greater ability to accumulate money, power, and control under the super deregulatory, hyper capitalist corporate regime that today's right wing seeks to install. In fact, American business has a very, very long history of supporting, orchestrating, and even directly executing right-wing coups around the world. Even right here in the United States, most notably in 1933, when there was a plot to overthrow FDR when he was getting just a little too uppity on behalf of the working class and replace him with a corporate dictator. Seriously, look up organizations like NAM or NELA and look at the sort of diabolical political scheming that they have been involved in. They will and have pursued any avenue for profit they can get away with, and this is the sort of regime that will allow them to get away with more and more. So, with that kind of all stated and out of the way, I can't technically say for sure, because he hasn't announced or anything, why Senator Murphy was here, but I have a pretty good idea of why he, a U.S. Senator from Connecticut, was all the way down here at a social event in South Carolina, the first state in the presidential primary for the Democratic Party in 2028. He's probably setting up a bid for president. That may not be certain, but I am certain of this. The last thing we need is one more public official, let alone head of state, who at best fundamentally misunderstands the morality and priority of these large law firms and corporations, and at worst is obfuscating the narrative for them.